Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to yet another stream here in United States Cup 2025. We've got another losers bracket match here on the B stream. This is going to be between seed 11 Colorado and seed 10 Washington. These are two pretty interesting teams to be going head to head here in the losers bracket semifinals, but I am It's Pigeon. I am once again joined by Juno here on the B stream. How are we doing tonight, Juno?
We are back with some United States Cup here. We have the two streams going on right now. We are inside of, I believe this is Washington's warm-up. This is pretty funny. We love seeing the different state-themed warm-ups. That's what you call them. Yeah, getting into this map, the 10th versus the 11th seed. A little bit of a closer rank difference than we saw in our last match. That was the 8th versus the 20th seed, where we saw Connecticut making history in that match, being the highest, or I mean not highest, the lowest ranked seed to make it the furthest in USC history. But Colorado and Washington looking to both outperform their seeds respectively. Whoever wins this match goes on, I believe, to a top 8 finish in the tournament. As we get into some funny 2B here. I love Washington. This is one of the states that I have actually probably visited the most in my life, because growing up in British Columbia, we would often frequent Washington, because we love the Seattle Mariners, if any baseball fans out there. But yeah, haven't visited Colorado, but that's going to be Washington's warm-up there.
Yeah, it's a pretty great state from what I've heard. Colorado's probably where I'm gonna end up once I get more settled down with job stuff. Just because they got some good healthcare stuff going on. So, but it's pretty nice. I think in Washington, I've never been there personally, but I would have to agree from all the different pictures of the state that I've seen. It's a very beautiful place. This is a very interesting matchup here. This is kind of the battle between some old heads here. You've got Verderix, Ethan Tricks for Washington, and on the side of Colorado, if you haven't been following along with the tournament up to this point, this is the return of I'm a Fancy Lad, who has been gone from USC for a couple of years, I think since 2022. We have not seen them take part in USC, so it's returned and brought their team all the way to semifinals, albeit in the losers bracket. I do think they finally lost what was last week in the winners bracket, so they made a pretty good run in the winners bracket, all things considered, but this is going to be pretty interesting. Washington had to fight a little bit harder through the losers bracket than Colorado did. They had to beat... They were knocked into the losers bracket round 1, Washington was, by Illinois. That went to tiebreaker. And then they had to beat, in the losers bracket, Maryland. They had to beat Tennessee. And they had to beat New Jersey to get to this point. So 3 pretty tough teams, especially Tennessee and New Jersey. Those are really hard teams to have to go against. But for Washington, they are seed 10, so they're definitely more than capable of going toe-to-toe with some of the other lower seeded teams. But against this Colorado team, it's really going to come down to Crestive and I'm a Fancy Lad here. If they are able to perform, they can very easily 2v3 the entire match.
Just taking a look at how Colorado has gotten to this point, they faced off against Florida, and then they upset seed-wise Carolina in the second round, and then fell 6-2 to Colorado in the last match, and now they are up against Washington here in the losers bracket. I would also look out the scores on the side of Colorado is Peta Koala, Venpris is another score that could definitely be the third player fill. Maybe not as much for the gimmickier stuff, but definitely for the more mechanics. Mechanics favorite maps can definitely be a player that hops in for those maps. As well as Conrad Mitten on the side of Washington can definitely be a player that supplements a lot of these maps as a third player for the side of Washington.
Yeah,
sorry, I moved.
Oh,
I was gonna say I moved my microphone away during the break, but I just moved it back. So hopefully I will be louder.
Oh, you were just fine, but you're even better now.
Amazing.
You sound wonderful. It's nice to hear your voice crisp and clear here. And this fine evening, this wonderful midnight match here on the East Coast. If you're on the West Coast, it is still gonna be 9 p.m. But as one of these two teams, I don't think Colorado is Pacific. I'm pretty sure Colorado is Mountain Times. They're
Mountain
UTC,
Time. It's 10
UTC
p.m. right
minus
now.
6 for them.
Yeah. As a fellow Mountain Timer, I enjoy this time of nights for some late night OSU gaming. Although a little bit further north.
Yeah, we out here at the late hours of the night. It does look like the other match that was taking place between New York and South California just concluded. New York closing that one out in the winner's bracket, still 6-1, beating South California, knocking them into the loser's bracket. So pretty crazy match. I saw a 3-way FC on. I don't. What map was the you were watching?
DT2.
It was DT2. I wanted to say DT3, but yeah, DT2. The 3-way FC on that is insane. But are getting into picks and bans here. It's going to be first ban for Washington, so I imagine they have second pick. I didn't quite see that, and they went with Hard Rock 3 ban. Hidden 1 is going to be the ban for Colorado.
Washington are also going to have the first pick as well in this.
Oh.
We do see... we finally don't have to talk about pizza again because Hidden 1 has been banned. So taking away the Hidden A map is Colorado. It's going to be the 2 tapping heavy maps going the way of Washington's bans, being that shorter 235 BPM burst Spartan Hard Rock 3, and also taking away Megalomania. I feel like Megalomania has been banned every single match. I don't believe we've seen it yet. And then the final ban out of Colorado being Future Bossa. That is a direct target at Ethan Tricks. Ethan Tricks can absolutely go off on that map. It is AR2. So we are going to be getting into Washington's first pick here.
Yeah, it's pointed out in the chat by iFlame. If you were paying attention to these bans, Free Mod 4 is open against this Washington team, which means Colorado feels comfortable and confident enough that if and when Washington end up picking it, Colorado will be able to answer. Definitely a team that is previously been able to make good performances on some of the more gimmicky style maps, but yeah, I do think Colorado is going to lean a bit more into the mechanics, and Washington's probably going to lean a bit more into some of the gimmick stuff, but we are starting this one off with a 3-mod 3 here from Washington.
Surprised by this quite a bit, but Ethan Trick's going to be going on the Hidden on this map for sure. Could possibly be going on... I don't think we'll see Easy on this. This has a few awkward streamy sections, sitting at that 190 BPM, although a short anti-mod map. There is Ethan Tricks into the lobby. I would expect to see possibly a... we could see Hard Rock on I'm a Fancy Lad, but definitely could be going on another player here. I'm a Fancy Lad, such a versatile player in their return to this tournament. I would love to see an Easy as well. I'm not sure how probable it is, just knowing how this map really goes. It could be on Ethan Tricks. We're just waiting for the lobby to fill out. on the side of Colorado. Yeah, we'll see Venpers coming in. That could definitely be a player that takes the Hard Rock here. And I suspect I'm a Fancy Lad's going to come back in. There they are. And going to be getting into this free mod 3 here. We're going to be seeing the mods very shortly. Obviously, the no mod being the most comfortable, I would say, on this map. We'll probably be expecting one per side on that. Unless we do see an easy, but then that doesn't count as a mod. It actually is Polkip on the side of Colorado going with the easy. Painted Koala on the hidden. Fancy Lad on the Hard Rock. A hidden Hard Rock from Vertrix. Ethan Trix on that hidden as I expected. And for Ching on the no mod here.
I think it's pronounced Freshing. I'm sure chat will correct us, but already seeing some early misses here for both sides. Going to be Painted Koala dropping on the first for Colorado, and already 2 misses on the side of Washington. So off to a little bit of a rough start, especially now with the final pool combo dropping in Ethan Trix. Vertrix and Freshing ended up dropping their combos previously, so it's just down to this recovery on Freshing, and now it's 50,000 point score lead. Painted Koala gonna be dropping again, so I think that was their second miss. Am I crazy?
Nope, you're not crazy. We're going to be seeing the only FC still left in the lobby is going to be on the easy. On Polkip does finally find a break. I have caster cursed Polkip, and unfortunately going to be not finding the FC on the easy, but is going to be Painted Koala and Fancy Lad on the recoveries that are much better than the current scores on the side of Washington. Ethan Trix finding another break for Ching, following it up, and Vertrix even following that up even further. It's a complete collapse from the side of Washington, and this first pick not going their way whatsoever. It's going to be an opening break point. Definitely a risk when you see the players on the side of Colorado, but maybe a little bit of an low roll from Ethan Trix, and Polkip is just going absolutely nuts on this. Just going so well, the 99%, over 99% on the hit, on the easy. Definitely something that you would expect with the lower OD, but is going to be an insane score nonetheless.
Yeah, it's such a crazy score, and I really do want to point out, I'm a Fancy Lad on that Hard Rock as well. This one is going to be the anti-mod, free mod for this week's pool, and it's going to be a very early breakpoint for Colorado. We saw early breakpoints on the previous match and on the B stream between Connecticut and Pennsylvania. Excuse me, my brain was lagging a little bit behind. And so they traded breakpoints pretty early on, and then Connecticut ended up winning that later, 6-4. So breakpoint doesn't necessarily mean anything, especially when it's so early in the match, but that does mean Washington is eventually going to have to get that breakpoint back if they want to win. But still impressive scores all the same. But yeah, with the easy, it's going to be about like 300,000 more on top of what that score difference was. So well played for Colorado, and will they be able to get a consolidation on this breakpoint? We've got a lot of options to go with. I do think that they are going to go more mechanics, and yeah, we are going to see an immediate DT3 here for Colorado's first pick.
Yeah, this is going to be a really stamina intensive map. It's going to be -45 ENA mapped by Align, and this just has doubles, really awkward lengths of bursts, as well as just all these back-to-back triples that really test your aim control, or not aim control, finger control stamina as well. And it's just overall a long map as well. Over 3 minutes here with DT is super long in context. A little bit of a density check you were mentioning as well in the last match, only sitting at AR 9.7, OD 9.7, so definitely could be a chance for a little bit of a reading check. You would expect this maybe to be at AR 10, Air 10.3 possibly as well, this being at 225 BPM.
Yeah, and it's really heavy on the finger control too. It's so demanding, very, very high skill ceiling to be able to play this one. So it's going to be telling, especially with the accuracies. We saw this one picked in the Connecticut-Pennsylvania match, and the accuracies were kind of all over the place, except for on Bunny Like Money and Zare, I believe it was those two, with the standout accuracies. So if any of these players are going to be able to get good, not only good combo, because there's a lot of spots where it's easy to get tripped up on some of the 4s into the 2s into the quints, then also the accuracy is going to be really important.
I think one other thing to note in this map is that it is quite combo gameable. I believe in the last match we saw Blue Champa get a 91% FC. We could see something similar to that in this map here. I think definitely Ethan Tricks is somebody to look out for a little bit with the combo game. Not necessarily known as one of the premier tapping players in the US, but definitely can hold on to some combo here going through this map. Synchronic and Coolnut going to be rounding out the roster here. And on the side of Colorado, it's this tried and true trio: Crested, Painted Koala, Venpress, and I'm a Fancy Lad going into the DT3.
Yeah, and already we've seen a couple of misses here for both sides. Only one on the side of Washington for the time being. It's going to be Coolnut trading with Painted Koala and Crestive. Pretty early misses, but good recovery on Crestive. So it is actually in favor of Colorado because of that accuracy. You have the 98% on I'm a Fancy Lad, and that is pulling heavyweight for Colorado. That is why the score is not in favor of Washington, despite the 2 full combos. Make that 1 now as Synchronic goes down, so that's actually going to help further the score lead for Colorado. And even with this miss from Crestive, it's not going to matter too much because Synchronic did end up dropping their combo, so that is going to help Colorado still. But I'm a Fancy Lad matching Ethan Tricks, and yeah, this is the combo game here that you were talking about. Ethan Tricks is able to put up decent combo. If he's able to match I'm a Fancy Lad, the score could go very quickly over towards Washington, but needs good support, and right now Synchronic is struggling.
Yeah, as well as Coolnut's accuracy below 92%, the only B rank in the lobby right now. And these recoveries from Venpress and Crestive are going to just support I'm a Fancy Lad score as we get into this halfway point. Another break from Coolnut is going to hinder this attempt at a recovery from Washington. And there goes Ethan Tricks' FC. I think this is as good as over, even with a third of the map left. I'm a Fancy Lad just looks so solid on this map. Still going with the FC into this final section. It doesn't really get too much more difficult than it already has been. Just more of these jumps into some triples and quads and quints. But there's been some great recovery on Crestive and Venpress here. Venpress does finally find a break, but it's Crestive and I'm a Fancy Lad just ballooning this score lead. And are we going to be in 1v3 territory? No, I think with the recovery from Synchronic, it is going to go over 1 million points here. As we get into the final bit of the map, I'm a Fancy Lad is going to just keep going with this score.
Yeah, not quite 1v3 territory, but still monstrous performance here from I'm a Fancy Lad on this double time 3. It's not over yet. There's still time for Fancy Lad to find a miss. We wouldn't want that, but an FC on this is insane. So the fact that he's already over 1 million score on his own is very, very impressive, and he does close out the full combo at the 98.36% accuracy, so a very, very huge score from him. But honestly, a really good team score from Colorado as well. Even if like I'm a Fancy Lad didn't full combo and he drops like 700k with a miss here or there, he's still gonna win this for them handily. It's a 780,000 score gap, so good consolidation on the breakpoint for Colorado, making this a really quick 2-0. And Washington gonna lean back into the free mods, now going with what we've expected of them to be, maybe a first pick in the free mod 4. This is the tiny circle map. This is CS 8.5 before Hard Rock. We've already seen in a couple of matches so far this weekend. Easy is a preferred mod on this. We've even seen multiple flashlights, easy flashlights. So it just kind of depends on how much these players have properly practiced for this pure gimmick map here. And I don't think we're going to see many Hard Rocks. If we do, it's going to be like 1 or 2, but these two teams don't strike me as the kind of teams that would take 1 or 2 Hard Rock players. So I do think it's going to be easy hidden and easy flashlight and probably an easy for each team.
Yeah. I see Polkip in the lobby, and we saw the insane score that Polkip put up on that Fremont 3 earlier, so definitely could be a candidate here going into the easy territory, possibly even the flashlight. Do see Synchromic and Vertorix. I expect Ethan Tricks to come back here. No Ethan Tricks right now. A little bit curious, but we do see Synchromic heading out of the lobby. There is Ethan Tricks. Could see some shenanigans coming out of that. If we see a Hard Rock, we saw 2 Hard Rocks on this in Connecticut, Pennsylvania. This is not meant to be played with Hard Rock. So we'll see what these players have prepped. I think this is really going to be possibly a Polkip show here with how well they played on the Fremont 3.
Yeah, it was Icania and I think Leggings on the Hard Rock for that Connecticut Pennsylvania matchup. And Icania dropped a pretty impressive. It was like 240,000 or something on it, but Leggings was quite a bit below. And yeah, no Hard Rocks here. It's just so risky to try to play a map that is ultimately CS 10 after Hard Rock. It's already CS 8.5. You want to be better off going either not Hard Rock and just have one flashlight player, and then just go easy. And yeah, easy flashlight here for Polkip, matched by Ethan Tricks. Both matching accuracy for the time being, and slight accuracy advantage here for Colorado. It's going to be matching mods actually all across the board here.
I feel like it's really going to come down to these 2 hidden players here. I'm a fancy lad going to be finding the first break. The 2 players playing on the CS 8.5 is going to be what really tilts it here. Do see a follow-up break from Vertorix, although it's slightly later. I'm a fancy lad finding another break, but it's still these FCs going on the bottom row of your screen. And then I love how these teams have sort of like not symmetrically, but every mod slot has its matching, where like Polkip's in the same slot as Ethan Tricks and so on and so forth. And there's a break on one of the easies. Venpris is actually going to be finding a break, as well as Polkip on the side of Colorado. This is completely falling apart for them, as Ethan Tricks and Friching still holding on to the FC's Friching. Going to be holding on to the FCs.
Maybe it is freaking. I honestly don't know. But say it however you want to, because I don't know how to say it, but these are 2 insane combos here. It's not going to be the full combo from Polkip on the easy flashlight. An unfortunate miss, but still very impressive accuracy. But that score lead is 100,000, and it's still even more because of the easy multipliers being 2x in this tournament. Despite it not counting as a mod towards the total mods that are required, it still is double score for easy. So this score lead is much greater than 150,000. And yeah, it is Vertorix and I'm a fancy lad at first that were going to be the ones that really decided it, but ultimately it came down to this miss from Polkip, and there's still time left in the match, but I mean, unless there's just a complete disaster in Washington, like, it's just probably not going to go back their way.
Yeah, as we get into some of these final sections, a big chain miss from Fancy Lad. Vertorix also trading the break on the hiddens, and it's going to be Washington just... They faltered a little bit on the Fremont 3, but they are standing strong on the Fremont 4 here. Damn the small circles. We want them to be bigger. We are going to play easy, and we are going to be good at it. We see more breaks on the side of Colorado.
And we're also just gonna not see the map either. Let's play Flashlight while we're at it. I mean, Even Tricks is like...
see the notes?
Even Tricks and Polkip are like two of the like few players in this tournament that you would expect to be putting up these kinds of easy Flashlight scores, and unfortunate for Polkips is not going to be the full combo. Still such a crazy score. 1x100, 2x50. I think that's just a 1x slider break from Polkip. And Ethan Tricks closing out the FC on the easy Flashlight. The only FC in the lobby. And just an insane score here for Ethan Tricks. So crazy way to get your first point on the board, a much needed point on the board, especially with Colorado getting the initial break point and consolidating on that. But Washington feeling pretty good about that one.
Yeah, we're going to be going back over to Colorado's pick here. They've been picking mostly mechanics maps. There's a lot of mechanics left in this pool. If they want to go to AIM, they have a Nomad 1, a Hard Rock 1 still available, as well as that Fremont 2, 5.5 minutes long. On the side of tapping, there's definitely still the two DT 1 and 2 still left, as well as Hard Rock 1, more of a stream focused map. Could also definitely look at that Nomad 4 being a more gimmickier tapping map, but it's going to be going right back to the DT pool. They're going to be going straight for that DT2. We saw New York get a 3-way on this earlier. 282 BPM, mostly standard aim, AR 10.3, but also some of these longer bursts can definitely catch some of these players out.
Yeah, this is kind of Colorado's playbook, right? They're just going to try to abuse the fact that Washington is weaker at mechanics. They are weaker at speed. They are weaker at tapping. Overall, Washington is a very gimmick-heavy team, as we just saw Ethan Tricks on the easy Flashlight FC, right? And so going for DT3, going for this DT2 now, and really just sticking to this game plan of try to abuse the fact that Washington is going to probably not have 3 comfortable players on these faster picks. Colorado's got to get some pretty easy points here. However, anything can happen. It's not like this is just a complete freebie for Colorado. Washington is very capable of doing some good comboing themselves, of getting some decent scores, and we might see a breakpoint back here, but I'm not sure if we'll see a breakpoint on this one.
Yeah, not sure about this one. We see I have a fancy that Impressive coming in on the side of Colorado. Been their two mainstay mechanics players. We do see John Aim coming into the lobby, which is
Juanito.
Juanito. We love name changes, my friends.
Mid-tournament.
I love it. We have Coolnuck, Synchronic, and for Ching. I'm still getting if anybody wants to give me some how to pronounce Osu players' names.
Yeah, how do we say that name, guys?
Yeah, please help. I don't know.
But it's DT2 here, and it's a very fast one. As you said, it's 282 BPM, AR 10.3, and a lot of fast streams. We've already seen some players fall apart here from the beginning. Crested dropping their combo very early on. Synchronic does end up trading it a bit later, but down goes Coolnuck on one of those 2 remaining FCs for Washington, and finally stretching drops for Washington. So that is 3 dropped combos on the side of Washington, with only 1 on the side of Colorado, and good recovery, impressive at that. So the score lead is going to start climbing very quickly.
Yeah, we do see some lower accuracy on John Aim. Another break coming out of Coolnuck on the side of Washington, and just this mechanics abuse from Colorado coming out. Still the 2 full combos on John Aim and I'm a Fancy Lad. I'm a Fancy Lad actually going to be finding a break at the end of that burst there. Going to be dropping the FC right at the halfway point. Going to be capping out that score quite a bit. Crestive is going to be on a really good recovery, though, with another break from Ching. And Synchronic also finding another break. So it is these 2 combos on the side of John Aim and Crestive. Crestive does find a break on that burst, but it's John Aim John is aiming the circles and is going to be still holding on to a full combo into the last third of this map.
Yeah, Juanito is really pulling their weight here for this Colorado team on this DT2 pick, doing so much for their team on this full combo, and it's just nothing to be seen on the side of Washington. Yes, Kulnuk has built up a sneaky 500 recovery here while we weren't looking, but I do think it's too little too late. Even if Johnny misses, the way that Kulnuk missed initially just kind of caps out their score, probably like 750,000. I don't think they're going to get more than that, and that's not going to be enough to get Washington over. But down goes John Aim on that final full combo, gone, but as well does Kulnuk drop with the recovery, and that's pretty much it for Washington on this pick. It's not going to be a break point. As I predicted, Colorado is going to be winning their own pick here. 3-1 against Washington.
Never doubted that Colorado could win their own their own mechanics map pick. Unfortunately, sort of a third player out here for Washington. Synchronic really struggling on that map, but it is going to be an overall just amazing team score coming out of Colorado. Seeing scores like this, like 1.8 million for Colorado, that's one of the better scores. But New York also just got 3.4 on this earlier, so it I guess it just doesn't matter.
Right, yeah, a three-way
yeah.
FC on a what is essentially a 7.4 star map pool in these semifinals is it's criminal. Honestly, it's criminal. They committed crimes in that match to be able to get away with something like that. That's not something that's normal. So this is a really good team score for Colorado.
Yeah, going back into more gimmicky. This is a game control alt map coming out from the side of Washington, going right back to their more less mechanics, more gimmickier type maps. So this will be definitely a strong pick for Washington that they can get their big carry players in. But I just want to say I'm a little bit scared for Washington in this match because as we've gotten farther in this tournament, we've gotten more and more mechanical in these pools. Done are the days where Washington can just get away with picking a gimmick map every 5 seconds in this tournament and just cheesing out victories that way and getting top 6. I'm a little bit scared getting into more of these mechanics maps further on into the match.
Yeah, it's little bit concerning here, and especially challenging when you give up that early break point. You have to get that back eventually. This 1-5 is pretty good here for Washington. I do think they are the kind of team that will thrive in this style of map, this alt aim control style of map. This is something that I when I think of solid players for this skill set, it's like Ethan Trix is the first that comes to my mind. Ethan Trix is such a huge key to this Washington team winning this pick here. So gonna have to see some solid performance here from this Washington roster. Cannot afford to give another breakpoint to Colorado, as we do see John Taco Bell come in for Colorado here, which is
Agent 727.
Agent 727, yet another name change mid-tournament from this Colorado roster, and also a full reset on Colorado.
All I see is John Taco Bell on the screen right now, so that is what I will say throughout this match. My favorite player, John Taco Bell. I'm not biased at all. Synchronic going to be finding an early break on the side of Washington as well. I believe just a few early breaks coming out of Colorado, but John Taco Bell going to be following that up with a break of their own. It is slightly in favor of Washington right now, just based on the accuracy coming out of Ethan Trix right now, holding over 99% still. The two combos on the side of Colorado are sitting right about that 98.5, 98.67 mark. And for Ching, also holding on to the full combo is going to be matching or besting those two recovery combos on the side of Colorado.
Yeah, looking pretty solid here is this Colorado roster, especially now with Freshing dying, or excuse me, dropping their full combo.
He's dead.
He's dead. No, that was just complete wording, but yeah, Freshing dropping their combo is not going to help Washington at all. John Talkabout going to be dropping. Cressive ended up falling on that full combo, and John Talkabout was on the recovery, so now it's just I'm a Fancy Lad trying to match Ethan Tricks. Actually not a full combo, if you remember, it was a full reset within like the first 50 notes of this match, so it is going to be still favoring Colorado for the time being, but if any of these misses come through here on either of these two massive combos, it's going to spell doom here as Big Trade completely. So now Cressive is going to be sitting on 300 recovery, and nobody's matching him. Finally ends up dropping that recovery, but 150,000 points I think is too much to get back with this little touch of the map.
Yeah, and Crestive was holding on to a recovery combo early alongside Fancy Lad and has been the most solid recovery combo throughout the entire map. And it's going to be going back over to Colorado. Another break point going up 4-1 now. And this is where I think Colorado's really going to look to twist the knife that they have stabbed Washington's roster with, and they're just getting slightly closer to that victory and moving on to the next round.
And I mean, Ethan Tricks delivered what was asked of him when I was talking about how Washington needed to win this point. Ethan Tricks definitely came through for his team. Highest score in the lobby, one of the better acts in the lobby, almost the best. That one goes to I'm a Fancy Lad on the 98.67, but I mean, still, it just was not enough for Washington. And that pick didn't even look bad for them on paper, but it was just Colorado firing off on all cylinders, looking so much better. Yeah, Colorado, they're definitely going to twist that knife in Washington's side.
They're looking to go for the kill, as I do have a confirmation. Frecking.
All right.
I have a confirmation from an inside source that
I appreciate that.
Frecking.
Thank you, inside source. The whistleblower.
Thank you, Berderix.
Oh, we love you, Berderix. You're the best. Goated player, goated commentator.
Yeah.
Pretty goated person.
Yeah.
Nomad 2 is going to be the pick here for Colorado. Going into some tech, actually.
Yeah, this has been a quite a polarizing map. There's a really awkward buzz slider section right before the middle of the map where you have this big slider that has claimed so many combos. We've seen full team wipes on this one combo right in the middle of the map. We saw that on Connecticut in the last match, and could we see teams falling victim to that in this match as well? I expect to see a massive score put up by I'm a Fancy Lad. Has historically been one of the USA's, I would say, top 3 tech players in their history.
Easily.
Yeah. So expecting Fancy Lad in for this map alongside Cressive and Venpers Payquala, Syncrovic and Coolnuck. I would expect to see Ethan Tricks. This map doesn't have that much of a tapping portion to it. It's 180 BPM, so a relatively comfortable BPM for these players, and it focuses early on that slider tech, gets into some more flow aim, and then puts it all together in the last portion of the map.
Yeah, I'm a Fancy Lad, definitely top contender for one of the greatest or greater tech players in the history of USA. But Also, Ethan Trix is an insanely good tech player, so we could see another star performance here for Ethan Trix on this Washington team, and they kind of need one at this point. When you're down 3 points and it's almost match point here for Colorado, you need to put a stop to that as soon as possible, and it's kind of got to start right now. Otherwise, if Colorado gets this, they're going to be at match point, and any extra losses from there on will knock Washington out of the tournament entirely.
We're going to start early with some tricky slider aim. See no breaks thus far. Synchronic actually going to be the first one to break on the side of Washington. And it's just the one break in the early section of this map. Long map, almost 4 minutes long, and you can see a little bit of a comfort disparity. Early accuracies on the side of Washington, a little bit lower than Colorado, but Vemper's actually on lower accuracy as well. It's going to be another break on the side of Washington. Coolnuck finding some breaks of their own, as well as Synchronic finding another follow-up break from their original one.
Yeah, it's going to be dropping these combos. It's not going to be helping out Washington, but you still have this one combo on Ethan Trix. However, it was versus 3 players. Pina Koala finally ends up dropping on the side of Colorado, but you still have I'm a Fancy God and Crestive going so hard right now with such incredible accuracy. It's insane what they're doing. Crestive ends up dropping their combo, but I'm a Fancy Lad is still matching Ethan Trix, and yeah, this is a 160,000 point score difference. Could be brought back very quickly. If I'm a Fancy Lad drops their combo, it's gonna have to be soon in this upcoming section here, or else it's gonna be too much for Ethan Trix to be able to do alone.
Yeah, and they both hit that awkward bus slider section, so getting through that with ease, and as well as Peta Koala also did not break on that section. As we get into more of this flow in here, as you see the 3 recoveries on Synchronic, Coolnuck, and Crestive building up through this section. Definitely one of the more comboable sections, but it's these 2 FCs that we have our eye on. It's 200k in favor of Colorado with the score lead, and Coolnuck finding another break. This is really not where you want to miss in this build-up section here, but it's the supporting scores that are so much better on the side of Colorado when these 2 FCs are essentially just washing each other out.
Yeah, and it's still 2 FCs. Like, I cannot state that again. It's still 2 FCs. You're going into one of the final PI sections, so it's going to be one of the most difficult parts here. Will either of them end up dropping their scores? That is going to be the question, as this misses all around them from all these players. Only Coolnuck not dropping finally ends up going down, as I say that, but still, just these 2 players going strong here. I'm Fancy Lad and Ethan Trix hit the stream. The accelerating stream is insane, so now it's gonna be down to these 2 players still, but it's just too much, I think, for Ethan Trix to handle. Even if I'm a Fancy Lad ends up finding a miss, it's just not gonna be enough.
Yeah. Surely, if we talk about the 2 FCs from I'm a Fancy Lad and Ethan Trix, one of them is finally gonna find a miss, but it is going to be into this final section. There's just no time left for Washington. Even though I'm a Fancy Lad does finally find a break, but it's not going to be enough at the end of the map. And it's the recoveries on Crestive and Peta Koala with the supporting scores into the end of the map.
So bad.
Oh.
Back-to-back top lobby score and still not getting the point. That hurts, honestly. And even dropping an FC on that. I mean, I'm a Fancy Lad. My God, 1800 combo is crazy, but the fact that Ethan Trix full combos that and still doesn't get the breakpoint is just heartbreaking. So this is going to be Colorado going on, winning their own pick there and going to match point now. A very difficult spot for Washington. Definitely not over, but it's going to be rough. They have to go to tiebreaker in order to even win this match. So, and honestly, Juno, I'm scared. If they do make it to that tiebreaker, I do think it just completely favors Colorado.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more on that. But as I'm seeing in the chat being said, it's not going to be over until it is over. Unfortunately, one of the players on Washington that is missing is Conrad Min. Definitely would have been a good help for a tech map like that. So just some unfortunate circumstances as well. Colorado most likely going to be going into another mechanics pick here. You got plenty to choose from. You have a Nomad one, a Hard Rock one, a DT one. Definitely all maps they can go for, as well as that Free Mod 2 that's sitting there. It's really Colorado's pick here. As for Washington, actually, no, this is a map that I was sort of sleeping on for Colorado, but it makes so much more sense now. They're going to be going for Hidden 3. After that performance that we saw Fantasy Lad put up on the Nomad 4, this is an excellent pick from them, in my opinion. And
This is Washington's pick.
This is Washington's pick?
Yeah,
This
Washington
makes so
picked
much
this.
sense. Yeah, that makes much more sense.
But still, I mean,
It's a great
it's
map.
not about. This is the kind of map that I'm a Fancy Lad will probably end up getting a great score on, as we saw in the previous one. However, I think Washington is really just doing the idea of what is Ethan Trix feeling best at right now, and let's pick that and try to help him out as best we can here. That is what Washington's pick strategy is, and so despite the fact that you might expect this one coming out from Colorado, you see this one being picked by Washington. Because this is the kind of map that, again, that Ethan Trix will probably get a really good score on.
Yeah, as well as, we saw Ethan Trix get the FC on the Nomad 2, going right back into tech here. We're going to be seeing Vertorix pop into the lobby. It's going to be that same lobby here on the side of Colorado. I'm a Fancy Lad, Pain Koala, and Crestive. Do see Frecking coming back into the match for Washington. I finally got it down. And it's going to be this last hope for Washington. They're looking for big performances here out of their team. Trying to push all the way to tiebreaker. They have to break 2 of Colorado's picks to get there.
Yeah, they need 2 break points, and they need to win this pick and 1 more on top of that. So it is a long road ahead to even just get to the tiebreaker. 5-1 match point here for Colorado. And starting this one off is going to be a very tricky intro here. Painted-Koala going to be the first to fall. Does get traded out by both Ethan Trix and Vertorix, so we won't see a repeat FC from Ethan Trix, but it's going to be I'm a Fancy Lad now dropping in a full reset on the side of Washington. That's Frecking and Vertorix drop their combos, so it's going to be Crestive now, just out of this intro section with the only full combo.
And Trix following shortly behind with the recovery combo of their own, but does find a break. That was Bancho, but I do not believe that one was Bancho. Crestive does follow it up with a break. It's a full team wipe from Colorado, but there's breaks all over the place in this map. This is such a hard map. Algo just absolutely devious with some of these wiggles and slider patterns. Just so hard to hit these patterns. This is also a short map. We're at the halfway point. This is under 2 minutes. It is 100k in favor of Colorado, but any combo that Washington can get here could bring it back. See Ethan Trix holding on to almost 300 combo here, starting to bring it back, but the misses from Frecking are not going to help that. But I'm a Fancy Lad. Pain Koala go down, and Ethan Trix is going to bring this back over.
Ethan Trix is slowly bringing it back, but it's not over just yet. It's not brought over to Washington just yet. He has to keep holding onto his combo. Hopefully does not let the nerves get to him, but this is one of the hardest sections. Doesn't miss on the doubles, and that score lead is still inching towards the way of Washington. So long as Ethan Trix is able to hold onto their combo, it's got good support from Vertorix as now I'm a Fancy Lad drops their recovery, so there's no combo on the side of Colorado, and it does switch over to Washington here, keeping themselves in the tournament for just 1 map further now is Washington, going to get a 2nd point on the board, and well done from Ethan Trix to keep Washington in the tournament.
Yeah, an impressive score. Another top score in the lobby for Ethan Trix. Was able to take their team further in this match. Is this the dagger? I'm not sure, but Colorado now with their own pick. It's going to be, yeah.
I think it's oh goodness, what is it? Hard Rock 2? Is that what it
Hard
is?
Rock 2. It could be Hard Rock 2. It
Let
might be
me
Hard Rock 1.
Oh, not Hard Rock. Yeah, either Hard Rock 2 or Fremont 2, I think, is what Colorado is going to pick. Those are my predictions here.
Yeah. I could also see, definitely we could be, I don't believe we've seen the Nomad 1 all week. Definitely a great song. It's one of the shorter maps in the pool. I think that could be even a sleeper pick for Washington later on, as well as that DT4 definitely could be a Washington pick if they get back to their next pick. As for Colorado, I think they need to go tapping here. Hard Rock 1's there, DT 1's there, but we just have to wait till they make the pick. It is Hard Rock 2, as you had mentioned. We're going to be going into Effluxion. This is going to be our...
This is tech.
Yeah,
this is heavy tech and Hard Rock.
Heavy tech, yeah.
And this is what I'm a Fancy Lad shines on.
Yes, this makes so much sense. So tech coming out of Colorado. Ethan Trix not always as comfortable on the Hard Rock. Can definitely play Hard Rock, but we'll see if they're in for this map here. We see Crestive, Peta Koala, and John Taco Bell currently in the lobby. We'll see if that stays how this is going. I would be very surprised if I'm a Fancy Lad did not play this. Or Ethan Trix. Maybe they're both gentlemen's agreement of like no Fancy Lad, no Ethan Trix on this. I am very surprised by this.
I think
surely.
I think they're just working out the other two players. There is a world where Washington doesn't play Ethan Trix in here, but I don't think we're not gonna see I'm a Fancy Lad here for the Colorado roster. As here comes switching. So yeah, Ethan Trix, Shirley, and I'm a Fancy Lad gonna be the two for Washington. No, it's gonna be Coolnuck. So and the reason why I think Washington is opting to not play Ethan Trix. Never mind. I was gonna say is because he's not the most confident on Hard Rock. He definitely prefers hidden, prefers easy, he prefers the more gimmicky mods, the more reading based mods. But it's gonna be Ethan Trix. Such a big switch up here. Really just throwing us for a loop to be the kind of mess with us a little. I think they were just really figuring out who was going to be the other two players for each team, which is fair. Everything matters the most, especially when you're at match point. You don't want to be at match point for too much longer. You want to close it out as soon as you can. And when you are playing against someone who's a match point, you really want to make sure that whoever is playing is feeling confident on what they are playing. So Ethan Trix, Sing Comic, and Coolnuck going to be the roster for Washington. I'm Fancy Lad, John Taco Bell, and Crestive for Colorado as Ethan Trix finds the first miss.
Break from coming out of Ethan Trix, but is going to be a early advantage for Colorado with the combo advantage here as we get into that first jump scare section, claiming no one, as that was all Bancho, except for it actually looks like Coolnuck and Ethan Trix going to be finding the breaks on that. The two misses on the side of Colorado were Bancho, but it's going to be misses coming out of Fancy Lad and Crestive now on the side of Colorado. So it's just John Taco Bell. John Taco Bell going to be holding on to the full combo going into this first break. This another short map, 2 minutes and 11 seconds. 171k can be eaten up in a flash if there are more breaks coming out of the side of Colorado. But Washington,
Spooderman is on the FC. John Taco Bell, Agent 727, whatever you want to call him, he was on the FC. Oh my goodness. Surely not Castor Curse, but still is going to be 200,000 points. And yes, there are recoveries on the side of Washington. Now, none on the side of Colorado. Only Ethan Trix falling in that build-up section, but it's one of the hardest parts of the map here. A lot of decelerating streams here. The spacing gets kind of egregious, especially on the hard rock. Coming down to these recovery combos. Nobody is matching them on the side of Colorado, so if we're able to hold here, Coolnuck drops, but it might still be not enough here I do think it's going to keep going, but see, Chronic ends up dropping now, so it's just Ethan Tricks on the recovery, and that's being matched by both John Taco Bell and I'm a Fancy Lad, both falling. And just kidding, John Taco Bell and Cress are going to be falling, so now it's just I'm a Fancy Lad versus Ethan Tricks, and it's too late in the map. There's nothing left, and this is going to be the end for Washington.
Yeah, I'm a Fancy Lad holds the combo through the end of the map. It's going to be by 140,000, and it's going to be Colorado moving on to the second round. They still have one more match to play this weekend, which is going to be played tomorrow. But congratulations to Washington for their run in this tournament, making it so far. Going to be in that 9-12 spot. Yep, congratulations to Colorado. They're going to be going on to face Texas, I believe it is tomorrow.
Yes.
And yeah,
that'll be tomorrow. And I do also believe that is the final match here on this B stream. There is one other match ongoing currently between North California and Virginia. That is the winner's bracket match, and it looks like it's 2-1 in favor of Virginia. So go check that one out because that's a pretty awesome matchup to look at here. But other than that, there's no more matches remaining tonight. And just a couple of matches remaining for tomorrow. Going to be Colorado versus Texas. That'll be at 4 UTC on Monday, 4 UTC Monday. So Sunday midnight for EST and 9 p.m. You guys know how UTC works. And Oregon versus Connecticut, and that is going to be at 23 UTC. So go check out the A stream. But do know. Thank you so much for commentating me once again. Again, thank you to our streamer, Affirmed Cheese. And yeah, go over to A stream, watch that, and thanks for watching.
Have a good rest of your night, and head over to that A stream, folks.